Hey, good morning, all. Happy Tuesday. So today we're going to continue our work with establishing ethos, and so this is what I kind of want you thinking about. And those who had me in person yesterday, we talked about this a little bit. There are things outside of our control when it comes to establishing ethos, our credibility, and our character in different contexts. Okay, um, in some situations, my being a teacher, all right, puts me in a position where I don't have the credibility with my character that I would hope. All right. And your age certainly comes into to play. Yesterday we talked a little bit about how in certain contexts, um, if you're male, all right, it's going to impact your credibility, all right, in terms of being able to establish ethos in certain contexts, all right. Same thing if you're a woman, and all places in between, all right. So with that in mind, there are things that we can do that are within our control. Yesterday, making concessions is one of those, all right. So when we enter into the conversation, um, we are doing so in such a way that we say, hey, one, we are aware of the issue. Two, we acknowledge that there's another side to this issue. And three, we're willing to engage in a reasonable conversation about the issue. All right. Today, we're going to take a look at qualifying claims. All right. And maybe you've had some experience in the past with using qualifiers. Maybe you haven't. And qualifiers can be used in different ways. Today's task is going to ask you to use them in such a way that we avoid absolutes, and we use qualifiers. All right. And so I've attached a resource for you called Using Qualifiers, Avoiding Absolutes. And here on the left, they provide words that typically create absolute situations. All right. And on the right, they provide some alternatives in terms of words that qualify it and make it a little easier to defend. Okay. If I said that all students are lazy, that's really hard for me to defend, especially if we're in an argument, because all you have to do is show one instance where a student is not lazy, and you have shot a big hole in my claim. However, if I say something to the effect that some students are lazy, that is certainly easier for me to defend. Okay. And so that's what we're looking for here, really, is we're looking for defensibility. We're also looking for um, uh, the awareness, all right, and the acknowledgement that it is rare that there are absolutes in anything. And if we enter into a conversation making absolute claims, all right, we're pretty much communicating to our opponent or the person in the other on the other side of the conversation that we are not open to the idea that there's anything but what we see and what we think. Okay. I make it a general rule that if people speak in absolutes, all right, there is little use in engaging them in any kind of conversation about an issue or a controversial topic, because they're just not open to any ideas. And I'm not saying that they have to certainly come over to our side or see um, the truth, all right, in our claims. But I think they also need to recognize that when we speak in absolutes, all right, we're avoiding the truth. Okay. And I think the truth there is that all things fall somewhere in between. Anyway, blah blah blah, enough of that. So what I'm going to ask you to do today is I'm going to ask you to do a short and sweet assignment. All right. Assignments don't need to be long to be meaningful, and so today's is certainly not long. Using the same three issues that you have been using, I need you to complete the tables below. And so put the issue up here. Maybe it's gun control. Make an intentionally unqualified claim, and then revise it to make it qualified. And then please put the word or words in bold that qualify. So what words you use as qualifiers, put those in bold to show that it's now a qualified claim. I use the same example from yesterday, homework. All right. Here's an unqualified claim. Homework is a waste of time. And I know that sounds a little extreme, but people say stuff like that all the time. Homework is a waste of time. Now, that's a pretty absolute statement. It's saying that homework is always a waste of time. Well, we know that that's certainly not true. And so, to soften it a bit, to make it easier to defend, and also to show that there are other reasonable ways to look at this is to say something to the effect that homework is not always a productive use of time. And I think there's some truth to that. I think we've done homework enough times to know that some homework is a productive use of our time, and some other homework is just simply busy work and it's a waste of our time. Okay. And so this is an example of taking an unqualified claim and making a qualified claim. And I just want you to do that with your three issues that we've been using down below. That's it, easy peasy. And with these two assignments or tasks that we have done the last 2 days, all right, we have discovered, hopefully you've discovered some ways that despite the things that work against us at times in terms of our ethos, there are things that we can do to establish ethos. One of those is making concessions, all right, and another is using qualifiers when we're making claims, okay? Hopefully this is pretty easy peasy and straightforward, but as always, if you need help, please ask, all right? That's why I'm here. Happy Tuesday, my friends.